Oh, hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for visiting once again. And as you can see, with the absence of aeroplanes, we're back to the Challenger 2. So this will be welcome news for all you tankers out there. So here we go. Just a quick recap. Obviously, what we've done in the last few weeks was to get quite a long way down the road with the lower hull and main hull here. There are some components that need to be put on still, but things like these little bits of kit here have to have other things put on top of them, and then I'm going to paint first and then put these on afterwards. I think that would be the best way of doing this. And also, actually, to be perfectly honest with you, establishing exactly where and how they fit on, because that's not at all clear. I have to do some more revision work on that one, to be honest with you. So these sections here have been completed. A word of advice on these little photo etch pieces: you do have to be really careful. I have found, as you can see, this one's got bent again and slightly crushed, so I'm going to have to readjust that. So it's really, they're really not very easy to work with. That's not the fault of the model, that's just me being slightly clumsy, I think. So what I've done is moved on. I think this is a two-part story in some sense, where the hull is the lower part and then the upper part, or the second part, is the turret. In fact, I think there are two sections to the turret, but we'll come to that in a minute. I have made a start on the excuse me, on the turret by sticking together the principal components, these four pieces here. Move that so you can see it, shall we? Go back to 0.6 magnification. That probably helps things somewhat, doesn't it? There we are. So as I said, I've stuck all these components together. Now they fit reasonably well. There is a slight raised section on both sides. It's even on both sides, so I've reasoned that it's meant to be there. I'll need to do some filling in these sections around the back here as well, just to even things up slightly. And I need to check some material, research material, to see whether there are weld marks up on these sections here, because if there are, then what we might have to do, in fact what I will do, is make rough marks, vertical marks, probably with a little brush or something like that, to make it look like there are weld marks there. So that's that done. I have really made a bit of a mistake as well, because as you can see, if we zero in, these little Johnsons here, these are aerials, and there's two of them that you put in. You can see that one's already bent. What I've done is put these in a little bit earlier than one should, and I've tipped them over and put my hand on them, and goodness only knows what, and that has resulted in them being slightly damaged. So I'm going to have to be very, very careful with them. But the good thing is that the bottom part of this cupola, no, see there, I just did it again, just touched that there in trying to put that together, so it's quite difficult. This fits in very nicely, perfectly happily, and can be glued in a bit later on, and won't offer any problems at all. So the fits are pretty good. The next section is at step 25, is we're starting to build the not the tank commander's cupola, the machine gun and so on, but the second in command. I don't know what he has a name, not Colin, by the way. So he has a title, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to do these now, because there's a lot of fiddly bits here, and I'm still 4 minutes in right now. I'm going to try and split this into a series of 15 to 20-minute videos, and hopefully that will make the whole thing a lot better, in terms of, you know, a lot more palatable, because I don't really want to do an hour-long video of this. It would get a bit dull quite quickly, I suspect. But anyway, what we'll do is we'll get on with some de-spruing and so on, and we'll take it forward from there. And actually, I've just discovered that my bloody microphone isn't in. Well, let's see what will happen here if I put it in now. Will that make it stop, or we'll just have to see. Hopefully the sound gets better if I plug my microphone in, and I need to make a contribution to the swear box, wherever it is. It's up there, actually, out of harm's way, so I'll put a chink of cash in there in a minute because I said bloody. There you are, I did it again. So in terms of components for these, let's just take a quick look. I want E components, E70, E69, E29, E65 to begin with. So let's get the old cutters out. E69 and 70. Good thing about these sprues is that they're arranged one in part number 1 here and then 72 down here, so it's actually really quite easy to find them. So 70 and 69 are just down here, so we'll just remove them. I'm going to be careful with that because I don't know whether that's sprue or a component, so we'll put them down there. 69 and 70, E29, there it is there. Yes, this, I'm going to take that out like that as well. 29 and E55. 55 is down there, so I'll take that off there as well. I may have to get the magnifier out when I start cleaning these off, so I'll need a couple of blades to do that, and we'll take a look at these. So yeah, there's a nodule to fit in there, so what we'll do is we'll take that sprue nib off there, put that in my bin up here, and then do the same on this side, and again put that in my little bin up here, and look at these components, take the major Johnsons off if we can. Yeah, that I think comes off there. Oh, that bit there. Same on the other side. So there we go. Now this looks a bit different. I'm going to have to consult the picture on this. This is E55. So yeah, so this little section here, just where I'm pointing there, that comes off. That's a sprue nib there. So let's have a quick snip just there, and take that section away, and then zero back out again. And yes, there we go. Now let's array these correctly to begin with. Just do some clean up here. Always good to get these flat and square if you can. It's the most difficult thing not to do that, and when apprentices in the Royal Navy are taught to do this, they spend many hours filing pieces of metal flat and square like this, and they all do the same thing when they start, and that's they file that way, and so you get curved pieces of metal, so you're putting up a square to the flat surface to make certain that you can't see light through it, and then eventually after many hours they get to be able to file flat and square to a very fine degree, some finer than others, ask me how I know, but it's an interesting thing to do. And it's a skill, I might add, that really never leaves you. So let's have a quick look at this a minute. So 69 and 70 fit onto the side of my poker's caught in that little channel that I put it in. 69 and 70 fit on these little channels to the side here. That's 0 in, not out. So they fit on the sides here and there. So let's see what we can do about that. And they look in a certain direction, i.e. slightly up. I'm just going to get the magnifier down a minute and take a look at this. Right, okay, so that's very clear now. What we can see is that I'm going to get, yes, I'm discovering this at the same time as you, by the way, so I'll zero in again. So this is sprue nib and that is not, so I know that I need to cut this section off now, and I need to do that quite carefully. There we go. Now a quick bit of clean up, and that's more difficult there because of this thing being absolutely minute. I'll do the same thing on this side as well. There we go. And we'll just clean up that section as well. What I will probably do in terms of cleaning up the mould lines is I'll probably apply some, let's zero you out and you can see what the hell's going on then, can't you? I'll probably apply some extra thin quick setting to the lines just to clean them up. Oh, there we go. So that, yes, that seems to work quite well. So these sections here just fit in like that. They just sit straight in there. So it's fairly straightforward, really. It says here. I'm going to use quick setting to do this. That will be the, I think that will be the quick way, or the easy way of doing it. And there we go. Let's see what's going on here then. And as you see, it is very, very quick indeed. That does make it somewhat easy. And I think that sits in pretty much straight like that. And we can do the same on the other side. And this allows us to, yes, to do things in a more difficult way. What I'll do is I'll quickly glue that in, and then I'll put some glue in there. See if I can get that to, well, that worked, didn't it? So I need to find a better way of doing that. There's a helicopter buzzing around outside. You might be able to hear it. I suspect it's the Polus searching for, oh damn, that didn't work. I say the Polus are probably searching for somebody, or assisting some investigation or another, I know not what. Let them get on with it. Let's see if I can get that to balance in there whilst I, no, that's not worked. Maybe, there you go, look, now I can adjust it. Let's try and make that as flush as we can. And at the right, or the similar angle to this one here. And then everything matches. Let's just have a zero in here and have a quick look at this and see. Oh, that's not quite at the right angle, is it? And there we are. That looks a bit better. Oh no, it doesn't. Oh yes, it does. Maybe it does. Yep, I think that's probably okay there. We'll just go back to that magnification. So that's that section. The last bit is the E65 component, which then sits into that little slot down there, but again sits at a peculiar angle. So let's get some tweezers a minute and see if we can get that to fit in a similar manner. I see. I think I understand how this goes. Might need the magnifier for this. It may have proved a better idea to put this section in first, but we'll see. Yes, I think it probably would have done. Now, how are we going to do that? Because I need a third hand here, don't I? there's a sprue nib there that I need to remove carefully. See, that's not going to be very easy to take off now. What we'll do is we'll cut it off thusly. There we go. You may just have been able to see that, and I'll give that a quick file. I think that's resolved that. So then we're back to placing this little squib knocket in here. So once again, wherever my tweezers have gone, I'm going to try and place this and hold it at the same time, and then glue it all at once. We'll see how successful I am, shall we? Yeah, I'll let it rest on my finger, and then, as Ron Calverley says, we can let gravity be our friend. He's a clever guy. I don't know if you've seen his videos. They're really bloody good, they are, I will say. Right, so I need to just get this straight now. So we're just slightly out of kilter here on these sections, so I think these two sections, here's what we'll do. I'll reapply some extra thin to these, just get the joint liquid again, because that will allow us to do that, and then I can place that where it's supposed to go, and then glue it there. And then we'll do the same on the other side. You see, that's not quite straight there, so we're getting there. Yes. I'll do the same thing here, and then just restart that joint again, push them together and turn that, and we should be able to get the whole thing to just blow some of that glue away again. Oh dear, this looks a bit Heath Robinson up close, I will say. I think that's how it's supposed to go. That's what it seems to look like. Those parts seem to be wanting to all connect together, but it's a bit, as you can see, it's a bit skew-whiff. I wonder if we, oh, it's not quite central there, look, here we go, let's see if we can, that's better. That's a bit of an improvement. So here we are, 18 minutes in, and we've put 4 components together. So as you can see, it is very, very fiddly indeed, and it's a long job. So I'm going to carry on, and what I'll do is I'll do a series of these videos, and we'll go to the the next bits and the next bits and so on, and we'll see where we get with it. Wouldn't think I'd spend 19 minutes doing a little teeny weeny video like that, but I'm going to play with that one a little bit off camera, try and get it to look a bit better, probably be a little bit disguised when it's fully built, but there we go. So that's that for today's little video so far, and we'll catch up with you another time. So thanks very much for watching once again. Thanks to all the subscribers that have come on board. It's just over 600 now, can't believe it, and I'm very much obliged to you all. So I should say thank you at the start of these videos, really, not the end, but my gratitude goes out to each and every one of you, and to my regular contributors in the comments, thank you. Please, anybody, do feel free to contribute. I'm very happy to talk to anybody. Thanks a lot now. See you soon. Bye bye.